Hey, thank you for joining me. We're going to go ahead and get started. And as we open up, I'd like to welcome everybody. And I'm seeing some people here. I'm trying to make sure that I've got everybody before we go live. Make sure that everybody's accounted for. And again, I'm Jacqueline Battle. Welcome to graduate to becoming a landowner, homeownership pre-planning, and much, much more. I want to welcome guest Beverly Wright, Hung Jun. I'm glad that you guys were able to meet us here. I want to welcome Cynthia Weatherton. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Feel free to put your comments in the chat. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat. The only reason why we're here is to benefit individuals who are interested in becoming either property owners, real estate owners, or they already own real estate and they want to enhance their real estate portfolio. So we're also conducting an additional Zoom simultaneously with this. So you'll see me looking here and here, because what's happening is that there is a monitor up here and it's on the how to monetize your land. So as we begin to talk, I want to make sure that you guys have these manuals, homeownership pre-planning, and much, much more. Homeownership pre-planning and much, much more. I also want to make sure that you have handy Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Businesses. That's the Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Businesses. I want to make sure that you guys have those handy. Also, I want to make sure that everybody understands the objective of this particular class. Our objective is to assist individuals who want to purchase, again, additional real estate, or they want to purchase real estate for the very first time. So what happens with that is a lot of people are able to go in and they're able to purchase over and over and over again, and then they get to a point where they're unable to purchase and they don't understand why they're unable to purchase. And in a lot of cases, that is because their debt to income ratio has met its peak and they can no longer qualify in and of themselves. So when that happens, of course, they have bottlenecks and they need an opportunity to expand themselves. Well, the way that you expand yourself is that you can increase your income. That will help you. Or you can shed some debt. But one of the ways that we help to benefit you is that we teach you how to create a corporation, and you utilize that entity in order to purchase real estate. All right, so let's rock and roll. Now that everybody understands the objective of the course, we can go ahead and get started. Just before we roll out, I want to make sure again that everybody has your manual, homeownership pre-planning, and much, much more. So if you have this manual, again, want to remind you, you're going to see me looking at two different monitors. This monitor for graduating to becoming a landowner, that's the homeownership pre-planning and much, much more. And you're going to see me looking at this monitor over here because there's an additional Zoom going on over here for those who are landowners and they want to monetize their land. For this particular course, we're using the homeownership pre-planning and much, much more manual. And you guys know we've been using this for weeks, but we continue to have new people who join us. So we go back and we review information. Also, I want you to have handy this book, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. Now, what did we just say? That a lot of times when people are looking to purchase real estate, they will sometimes bottleneck. So what will happen is that they already own real estate. They just want to add to their real estate holdings. And when that happens, sometimes The revenue is not there to qualify for more real estate. Maybe they want to buy just land, specific land, because they want to set it up so that they can lease it to agricultural companies. They want to set it up so that they can lease it to a variation of companies. So, and they're doing that to generate non-performance income. Okay, so when that happens, they're not qualifying now to already have that real estate that they have, and to add additional real estate. That becomes a problem. What we do is we help you to form corporations. We're not talking about something that's hard. We're not talking about something that's time consuming. We're talking about something that's fairly simple to do. We walk you through the entire process, and including venture capitalist companies that will provide revenue to help you to finance what it is that you're trying to do in terms of increasing your real estate holdings. Why are you doing that? Well, listen, let's be frank. We're in a different time now. There are different laws, there are different regulations, there are things that are happening. Somebody that's biblical would say, there rose up a Pharaoh that didn't know Joseph. So what we're talking about is that we want to make sure that you're able to expand your resources, because we're living in a country that really values small business ownership. A lot of times we don't understand that we need to be incorporated in order for that entity to be counted as a separate individual. Okay, so hold that right there. If you're a person who already owns real estate and you want to increase in your real estate holdings because now you want to get into agriculture, you want to get into producing non-performance income for yourself so that no matter what happens, you can weather the storm, we are here to help you with that, and we'll show you how to do it. If you've never purchased property before and you want to find out how you can prepare yourself to purchase real estate, and you want to know how to maintain it, to protect yourself against foreclosures or other things that can happen in the future, you want this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. And here we use this book in this class to help you pre-purchase, preparing you to purchase, and post-purchase to help you maintain your property and to pay it off sooner without extra burden, financial burden. Okay, so as we're going over this, as we're talking about this, we want to review something that we talked about last week. A particular thing that we talked about last week had to do with how you qualify as an individual. So let me open up this document. We're going to go into some of the things that we talked about last week. And I want to tell you, thank you so much for being here with us. If this is your first time, I want to remind you that we meet together every week, same time. Somewhere in me, I want to say same bat time, same bat station. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm dating myself. Okay, so here we go. Last week, we talked about even if you guys can't see it, I'll have the notes available. I'm going to put in the chat so that you guys can see it. It's a class that we teach, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. Okay. The reason why I'm putting that in the chat is because a lot of people are interested in creating an entity that they can use to purchase big ticket items. I'm specifically referring to purchasing real estate because I am a real estate agent, and a real estate agent for several decades. And so, of course, I'm here to talk to you in that regard. But as we help you to establish yourself as a corporation, and again, you don't have to have a business idea at all. Actually, what you're doing is you're setting up an entity that you can use to buy and to sell real estate. It enables you to qualify to purchase real estate. Also, there are not severe credit qualifications that are necessary when you set yourself up as a corporation to purchase real estate. There's fewer limitations on purchasing real estate. So that's another good reason. So just picture yourself creating another entity that can be everything that you can't be. everything that you can't be, that entity can be in order to help you to qualify to purchase. If that makes sense, just let me know. You're free to make comments, ask questions. I am going to go ahead and put in this chat the link for Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. Put that in the chat so that will be made available to you all. So if you're interested in taking that course, you know how to enroll. This course that we're doing right now, Homeownership Pre-Planning and much, much more, is a free course. The Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners is not a free course. It's a paid course. The link that you see that I'm putting in there now, that is the group link. So the course is offered as a group. It's also offered individuals. The fee for the group is less costly than the fee for the individuals. The difference between the two classes is that we spend time in each class making sure that each individual has what it is that they need specifically. But you're in a public forum, so we don't break you off into different rooms. It's on Zoom, and so whatever questions you have, they're going to be public. Now, if you don't mind that, then the group course is probably going to be the one that's most beneficial. But if you want individual help and assistance, then you're going to want to go with the individual course. All right. So as we open up this curriculum, I'm checking the chat to see if there are any comments, any questions. If you have any specific concerns that you want to see discussed today, I'm asking you to please put that in the chat so that I can make sure that your time is accounted for and that you're getting what it is that you need to have during this time that you're joining. Again, I want to welcome Rachel Jones. I want to welcome Beverly Wright. I want to welcome Hung Jun to the class. I want to welcome all of you who are joining us on various other platforms as well. Whether it's Facebook or other platforms, I want to tell you, thank you for joining us. All right. As we look at qualifying, we want to look at knowing whether or not you're ready to real estate. Sometimes, you wonder whether or not it's going to be more beneficial to rent. You're not sure if you need to rent or whether you need to buy. And in cases like that, the very first thing you want to look at is what is your debt to income ratio currently? What does that look like currently? And where do you want to be in the future? So just understanding how to make a decision as to typically when you're renting, there's a certain amount of money that you need to pay, you need to have in reserve in order to qualify to rent that property. There are certain things you need to have up front. Well, when you're purchasing a piece of property, you need to be prepared not just for that additional money that you need up front for closing costs. Let's say you're getting a down payment assistance. You still need to have your closing costs. You still need to be prepared even to have monies that are going to be in reserve for utilities, for other things that can be involved. So when you're buying a piece of property, you're looking at your down payment. If you're getting a FHA or some type of government-backed financing, a guarantee, then you're looking at 3% down. If you're getting, again, down payment assistance, then that means that you don't need your down payment, but you will need your closing costs. Even if you're getting 100% financing, you're still going to be subject to, most of the time, your closing costs. There are grants available for that closing cost. I want to let you know that there are various grants that are available. I'm a realtor with National Land Realty. I'm Jacqueline Battle. And if we're working together, I'll be more than happy to make you aware of those grants that are available, not just for your down payment assistance, but for your closing costs and other expenses as well. There are various grants that will help you with your expenses down to moving in and utility there are various grants that are available. And of course, if you're one of my customers, then I make sure you're aware of that. If you're taking this class, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners, I also teach you that because there are provisions and grants that are available also for new businesses who are interested in real estate investing, especially if you're going to be investing in rural areas, because there is a push now to help to advance the growth in rural areas. And so development and growth in rural areas. So there are provisions for that as well. So when you're looking at your down payment and your closing costs, you need homeowners insurance and expenses like property taxes. You're going to be looking at your mortgage payments, and you're going to be looking at an escrow account for you for maintenance. Now, I know a lot of times we've been accustomed to purchasing a home or your real estate on a wing and a prayer. I can tell you right now, that's okay. But it has no longevity. So what will happen is as soon as you run into a financial crisis, there's a problem with you being able to resolve that issue. And I know a lot of you who are viewing may have already run into that type of issue. There's a problem with being able to finance the resolution for that. Now you've got your house payment, and you've also got this thing that you have no way of resolving, this cost that's involved that you've incurred, and you have no way of resolving it. And eventually what will happen is that you'll be in a position where you're unable to make your monthly payment, and then that spirals into something that gets too big, and all of a sudden you can't control it. I want y'all to know there are programs that will benefit people who get in financial trouble when you just have to speak up. Most of the times you can go back to the same realtor that sold you the property. But just in case you're not finding that help, reach out to somebody like me, people who teach these types of classes, and they'll let you know about the different grants that are available and programs that are available in your area that will assist you with the monthly mortgage payments to prevent foreclosure. Because people run into problems, there are issues that are involved, and there are more of these programs that are available now than you can imagine. Again, if you have any questions and you're on the external platforms, social media platforms like Facebook, or if you're on YouTube right now and you've got some questions, go ahead and put your question in the comment. If you have any comments to make, put those in the comment section as well. I'll be looking to see if there's anything there that I need to assist with. Okay. All right. So we're back to talking about those expenses that you need to prepare if you're a first-time homeowner. Okay. And there are things that you're not thinking about. You're just thinking, oh, I can afford that payment, but you're not thinking about having something set up for repairs. You're not thinking about having something set up for your property taxes and such. Okay. Also, I want to remind you, even if you get a DPI, some type of DPA, some type of down payment assistance that's involved, you're going to have to pay your closing costs. However, there are grants available in specific areas that will help you. They'll help you to qualify for not just your down payment assistance, but also the grant that will cover your closing costs. So that's going to help you with your savings as you're moving into your property. So as you're talking about the difference between renting and buying a home, you also want to look at which one's going to be more flexible for you. So buying a home is best suited for a person who intends to stay in the same area for a long period of time. Now, here's the thing. Even if you don't, so you can build equity in the property, but even if you don't intend to occupy the property, you have to be resolved that you will be willing to own that property in that area. Even if you're going to rent it out, if you're going to lease it, if you're going to do an Airbnb with the property, you want to hold on to that title for as long as, keep that vested interest for as long as possible, so that you can build equity, profitable equity in that property. That's another reason why we say, so people may have owned property in area for like 5 years, 10 years, but now they want to get into investing in real estate. They want to buy real estate to flip. They want to buy real estate to turn into an Airbnb. A lot of people are planning for the future, and they want to buy real estate now for agricultural purposes. They're forming agricultural communities so that they can account for growing their own food, having their own livestock, and then taking a portion of that land and leasing it to energy companies, because right now energy is huge. Energy investment is huge. So there are companies now, energy companies that call us all the time, solar energy and other energy companies. They're reaching out to us, National Land Realty, and they're asking us if we know of landowners that would be interested in leasing their property. Yeah, I've actually sold some property to some people who had intentions of immediately turning around and flipping that property. They repurposed it and then they began to sell it lot by lot. Yeah, yeah. So you could actually purchase land in addition to the home you already have and put that land to work for you, producing non-performance income. What did we talk about last week? We showed you a list of venture capital companies that would actually loan you the money to purchase real estate. We talked about that, remember? We talked about how they're not specifically concerned about your income, your personal income, because we teach you how to form a corporation, a business, so that that entity qualifies to do what you can't do. That entity is financially stable. That entity has credibility. They're not looking at your own personal income or credit. They're now looking at the entity's credibility and stability. Okay. And so you say, well, I don't have a business idea. So I don't know how I can form a company because I don't have a business idea. I need you to understand that we walk you through creating that corporation. We walk you through setting it up so that you have revenue coming in, depending on what it is you want to do. We walk you through setting up, becoming a vendor with a particular state and government. And then we hand you off to a company that specializes in that. That's A&L, B2G. They are a B2G strategist company. In other words, they help you to do business as a vendor directly with the government. Well, after we get you set up, we hand you off to companies like that can then help you to produce revenue, a stream of revenue that's coming in. Now you're all set. Now you got venture capitalists that will help you purchase land. We walk you through putting your package together. We walk you through getting approved for all of that so that now you have funding. Now you've created this corporation, this additional entity that qualifies in ways that you don't qualify. That's if you want to do it that way. We also show you how to form a corporation so that you can actually, you can negotiate with your corporation the amount of salary that they're going to pay you. Okay. So when it goes to verifying your income, that is a corporation. It's not a partnership. It's not a sole proprietorship. It's a corporation. It's a totally separate entity. Your taxes don't pass through your personal taxes. You actually have separate reporting for that entity. It's a viable being. It can either hire you and pay you the salary that's necessary for you to be able to qualify to purchase these properties, and you can verify it. If you follow me, or if you don't want to qualify in terms of your credibility or any of that, you just want the corporation to do all that. We teach you how to use the corporation, not just to buy real estate, but to buy big ticket items. So right now I've got my realtor's hat on. And so I'm specifically talking about helping you to purchase real estate in various ways. Okay. I want to pause for a second. I see people who are also with us on social media platforms. I don't know if you guys have any questions. If you want me to put the link in the comment section concerning the class that we teach, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners, whereby we teach you how to not just form a corporation, how to set it up, how to set up your books, how to set up your general ledger, how to qualify for non-qualifying mortgage lenders who specifically loan to businesses to purchase real estate, how to be in touch with venture capitalists. We give you a list of them, but we don't just give you a list. We get you in touch with the underwriters, the loan processors and the loan officers. We walk you through putting your package together, your portfolio, so that you can get approved. We walk you all the way to the door, get you approved. And then you have to walk through the door alone, but we stand with you through the entire process. I can tell you that this course helps you from beginning to end. By the time you get midways in this course, you would have already formed your corporation. We will make sure that we get it recorded so that you are a viable entity. We help you get your withholdings with the federal, with the state, so that you are a walking, talking entity that can now do business in various ways. To create additional income for yourself. Why are we doing this? because I've been a realtor for decades. I've also been a licensed title insurance agent for years. So we've sold policies to people to help them insure their real estate title history, so somebody won't come up with some kind of claim that started in the past and now they're in the future trying to get involved with your vested interest in your property to say that they have some kind of stake or claim in it. People do that. It's fraudulent behavior, but we issue title insurance policies that will protect the title of your property, its past history, against people that will come with future claims. So I've been doing that since some of y'all were little or not born. I've been doing it for years. And what I've seen over the years is that people, they own real estate, they want to buy more real estate, and that's all these qualifications that they can't meet. Or they can't ever seem to qualify themselves individually to purchase property, but it is not hopeless. So they take these classes and they say, well, you know, if you just do this, you'll qualify. If you just increase your debt to income ratio this way or that way, if you just pay off your debt or don't pay it completely off, but pay it down or keep it below a certain balance, all of this, and then something else comes up and now you don't qualify. What we propose and what we teach in that course is we show you how to create an additional entity. And we make that entity everything that you're not, so that you're able to now do the things that you need to get done by way of real estate. Again, you can purchase big ticket items, but I'm talking to you about real estate because I got my realtor's hat on. I'm going to pause just for a second. Sure that there are no questions in the chat that I have failed to address. And again, if you guys are interested in that course that I was just talking to you about, please let me know. And I put the links in the chat of the Zoom. And I put the links in the chat of the Zoom that's going on here. I got two Zoom babies going on. But if you're in one of the social media platforms, chances are you don't have access to that. But I can put the link in the comments if there's anything that I need to, if that's what you're needing. Okay. All right, the next thing we want to talk about, matter of fact, I'm going to pull up a copy of that curriculum that's in there. Easy Corporate Comprehensive for New Business. Just in case you guys want to gander it and you may be interested. Let's talk about some financial planning and some budgeting. Okay, so in this book, Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more, there's a section in here that talks about compound interest. So a lot of people I've talked to and they say, I really want to save to purchase a house. Like I've got everything together, I've got my credit together, I've got everything together, but I want to save to purchase real estate. And I've been having trouble doing it because they're not paying profitable interest at my bank. Okay. Well, in here it talks about the accounts that have compounded interest. And it gives you a list of the different types of accounts. But not just that, it shows you how to determine how much money you want to deposit upfront in advance. You might be talking about IUL or other types of accounts or regular market accounts that may be available at the bank that pay pretty decent interest. Okay. So you want to know how much you need to initially deposit and then how that interest will compound over a period of time. In here, there's a calculation that tells you exactly how to go about doing that so that you know how to determine. And you can find it on page 62 and 63 of this Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much more. And then there's an actual formula whereby you can enter the amount of money that you want to accumulate over the amount of years. And so it shows you how to determine your present value, the present value of the money, and then how to forecast the future value of the money. So you know exactly how much to put in. Let's say you've decided that in 24 months, you want to have a certain amount, or in 36 months, you want to have a certain amount. That's probably more reasonable. It shows you the amount to deposit and the amount of the rate of the compound interest that will be added once you know the rate of interest that's going to be applied. And let's say you want to know your monthly rate of interest. Well, If you look at the beginning of the book, one of the very first equations at the beginning of the book tells you how to determine the monthly rate of interest. So if you don't have this book, you want to get it because it helps you to understand how to pre-qualify for property. But it also shows you how to maintain after you purchase the property. Let's say you get in trouble and financial trouble, and you're running into trouble and possibly about to be foreclosed on. Well, if you look in the back of the book, there are some non-qualifying lending institutions that if you are a company, a corporation, they have flexible underwriting guidelines for businesses and for individuals who may not meet the traditional lending criteria. Are they predatory lenders? No, they're not. I don't deal with predatory lenders. These are not high interest lenders. These are lenders that have more flexible underwriting guidelines than traditional guidelines because they're specifically geared towards people who are in business. Either you're a corporation or you are a business owner, and they understand the highs and lows, the peaks and the valleys. And so they have underwriting guidelines with comparable rates that will help you. Let's talk about hard money lenders. When we talk about hard money lenders, we're not talking about, again, predatory lenders. They're different from non-qualifying lenders. Non-qualifying lenders don't require that you meet certain qualifying guidelines in order to purchase real estate. The hard money lenders will actually loan to you to purchase real estate without you needing to qualify pertaining to your income. What they want to see is the strategic plan that you have for that real estate that you want to purchase, that investment real estate. So if you have a good exit plan, they'll loan to you, because what makes them hard money lenders is that they're only going to loan you the money and allow you to use it for up to maybe 24 months. So that means within 24 months, you've got to have a way to pay them off. Typically, a refinance will pay them off. They just need to know you have a strong exit plan and that the property that you're buying has equity in it, or that it's potential equity in the property, so that you have enough money to pay them off within that time frame they're loaning you the money. Their underwriting guidelines are not as strenuous, and they're called hard money lenders. Okay, if you have any questions about hard money lenders, this is the time for you to put questions in the chat or to put questions in the comments if you are on. Okay, so when we talk about financial planning and budgeting tips, one of the ways that we help you in this book is we show you how to put money in. First, we give you a list of the type of accounts with compound interest. Then we show you how to make an initial deposit, no matter how small it is or how large. And then we show you how to accumulate compound interest in those various accounts, how to determine the amount that you want to see at the end of what you've started, okay? Secondly, we show you, if you've already purchased the property and you want to pay it off sooner, how to prepay your interest, okay? And the reason why we show you that, a lot of people are aware that you can make additional payments on your mortgage payment and pay your mortgage off sooner. People understand that. But what they don't know is that when you're purchasing property, interest is paid in the arrears, is charged in the arrears, okay? So when you're paying your interest for this month, mortgage for this month is actually including interest from prior to. Yeah, it's charged and paid in the arrears. So if you prepay the interest, that means you're getting in front of the amount of interest that's going to be charged to you, which means that the amount that's going to pay is less, which means that more money is going to be applied to your principal. Because when they collect the money, they collect the interest first. Yes. So if you're prepaying the interest, you're going to pay less interest, and more of that money will be applied towards your principal. Of course, we know the same thing stands to reason if you apply more money towards the principal. The difference is that you're paying less money to prepay the interest, and you're getting more benefits out of it in terms of reducing the principal. Okay. And so this book shows you exactly how to do that. It also suggests the optimal time to prepay your interest, but it gives you a full understanding of how to do it. And if you want to determine, let's say you didn't get an amortization statement, so you don't know how much interest is being deducted from your monthly payment. There's a calculation in here at the beginning of the book that shows you how to use your annual percentage rate, which is the annual amount of interest that you're paying, to determine how much monthly interest you're being charged. And once you get an understanding of the monthly interest that you're being charged, you can now prepay that interest, which reduces the amount of interest that you'll be charged the very next month. And has a full detailed diagram and formula in here that you can use to determine all of that. And you can use it throughout. Once you learn it, you got it, and you can apply it towards anything. Lastly, if you already own property, but you want to refinance, the bank makes it real easy for you to do. But now you need to find out if you're getting a deal that's going to be best for you. Okay, because not all home equity loans are beneficial. Some of them are not. So when you're getting a refinance, you want to determine whether or not that refinance is going to be beneficial for you. There is a formula in this book that will help you calculate whether or not the refinance or the HELOC that you're getting is beneficial to you, or whether or not there is a different type of loan that you need to get to help you determine whether or not that's going to be the wisest way to go. The book talks about several different types of lenders, different underwriting guidelines for those types of loans. All of that's in this book. So it helps you to determine whether or not you can qualify for a specific type of loan, what you need to do to qualify for those underwriting guidelines. It has a variation of loans, pretty much all the type of loans that exist in order to purchase property. It also talks about debt to income ratio for individuals as well as for companies, so that you can determine what the underwriters are looking at when they determine the amount that you qualify for, if that makes sense. All of that's in here so that you understand what they're looking for, and you can prepare yourself before you go to them, so you're not walking in blind. Because a lot of times when you meet realtors, they say to you, okay, well, I need to hook you up with this loan officer so they can tell you whether or not you qualify, but that's all they tell you. So you don't know what the underwriter is going to, you're going in blind. You don't really know what the underwriter is looking for. But if you can be prepared before you go in, you can know whether or not you qualify, or if there's something else that you need to do to enhance your qualifications, or whether or not you need to go in and purchase that one under your company, under your corporation. If that makes sense, then I need to get a little audience participation. I need to see you say something in the comments or in the Zoom chat. So if you're talking about whether or not a refinance is going to be feasible, you want to look at pages 45 in this book, 45 through 51 in Homeownership, Pre-Planning, and much, much. Okay, now I'm going to take you to a screen that I think will be very valuable for pretty much everybody that's watching right now. And in this screen, what you're going to find out is that this course that we offer is so informative. What happens is things that you weren't even aware of. Like, for instance, let's say you're forming a corporation. We're about to move into that now. Let's say you've got a business, you've been running the business, and your business is doing well. Even if it's not doing well, what we do is teach you how to put yourself in a stable position as a corporation. Again, so easy. When you say this to a lot of people, they think, oh my God, that's hard. It's going to take forever. That's too much for me. It's just too much. It's too much. But I have dealt with, I want to say hundreds of people. I've dealt with a multitude of people that I've helped in this way. Pretty much everybody that I've ever helped to form a company, they're still in business. I think I'm running back to my mind to see who may not still be. Pretty much everybody that we've ever helped to form a corporation, they're still in business. And we've been doing this for decades. We just had someone that was on this program maybe about 2 months ago now. We helped her back in 2007 to form a abstracting company. She still owns that company, and she has now added to that company a variation of things. Okay, so we're talking about this book, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. Why do I keep throwing this up? Because a lot of people are trying to purchase real estate, and it seems like it's going to take them forever to be able to qualify. Okay, because every time they get to a point to where they can qualify, something happens to their resources and they no longer qualify. Well, this helps you to build an entity. that will be able to do well in areas where you're unable to do well. Okay. I've got a lot of students that can attest to this. People that we helped from years ago and they're still doing it. People that I just helped a month ago and they're doing well. People that I'm helping right now that will attest to the credence of this course and how it's helped them. Well, there's a syllabus that, of course, we can provide. This is a paid course. Why am I showing it to you now? Because I want you to know what's available. It can feel really uh, constricting when you know you want to do some things in terms of real estate investing, and it's like it's unavailable to you. You can't reach it because you need a lot of money to do it. Last week, what I showed you was a list of venture capitalist companies that will help you to obtain venture capital to purchase property. That was what I showed you last week because we had a question from someone the week before that asked if there was a way that we could help them get venture capital to purchase real estate. Well, the very next week, we showed them, yes, there are. In this course, we provide venture capitalist companies that will provide you with provision, financial provision to purchase real estate so that you can get into real estate investing, so that you can buy additional property. So you can get, a lot of people are buying property in the country. They want to buy property in rural areas so that they can begin to create additional income with that land, non-performance income, or so that they can live on it, or so they can prepare it for themselves in the future. There's so many ways that you can use land in rural areas, and that's what I specialize in because I'm a land professional. So National Land Realty has a multitude of ways that you can monetize that land after you have purchased. And if you already own land, we can teach you how to monetize it. If you want to sell it, we can show you the way that's best to sell that property. Because if you're a landowner, you're not going to sell your land in a regular MLS. You want to put it on platforms that market to those who are looking to develop land, to buy land, to lease land, corporations that are looking for it, that you can get your top price. All right. So when we look at developing a corporation, I'm just giving you a peek at the curriculum. We talked to you about how to set your stock up. We explained to you the difference between preferred stock, okay, and common stock. And the reason why you want to know that is because you as a business owner can leverage. You can leverage just with your stock, just with your shareholders' equity or your stockholders' equity. You can leverage as soon as you form that corporation, as soon as you get it established and get it recorded, and it is now recorded with the Secretary of State. You go into that situation with stockholders' equity. You now all of a sudden have an asset that you didn't have before. And it is considered a financial asset based on the industry that you're going to be servicing. Yeah, yeah. It's a whole nother ball game. We show you how to raise capital when you need to create capital using your stock. But you have to understand the difference between preferred stock and common stock and which one is going to work best for you and your company as well as your shareholders so that you can provide win-win for everybody. I think I got a question here. We're not able to see what's being displayed on the screen. Oh, thank you. Okay. Mm. From my end, let's see. It appears to still be uploaded. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's just a blank screen. Go out and come back in again. Thank you so much for that. I did not realize that y'all couldn't see it. And I'm just going to town, just flipping pages and everything. All right, let's try it again. Here we go. All right, gonna come up. Let me know if you can see the screen. All right. Thank you so much. Rachel, thank you so thank you so much because I'd have been talking and here, thinking that everybody can see it. All right. So again, if anybody that's inside of the Zoom, if you need anything, wait a minute, is it blank again? Okay. If anybody's in the Zoom, so we got people in the Zoom that's in the graduate to becoming a landowner. And we got people in a different Zoom that's watching this here, how to monetize your land. And then we've got people on YouTube and on Facebook as well. If you guys have any comments and you're in Facebook or you're in YouTube, just put your comments there and I'm going to do everything I can to address those comments. So I'm just going to quickly review because I see some people who are added in the social media side that were not there a moment ago. So here's what we're doing. Over the years that I have been blessed to be a realtor and also a licensed land title insurance agent, what I've seen is that people have desired to purchase real estate. And for years they've tried. And it seems like some just keeps coming up. They changed the rating system, and now all of a sudden they're required to have a certain amount of rating or income. They just keep changing the requirements, or something happens on your credit, and it's like you can never seem to qualify. But the second part of what we teach in homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more, that's this book, is that we teach you how to create an entity in this book, Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners. If you have years tried to purchase real estate and it's not working, we show you how to create a corporation so that you set up a separate entity from yourself, a separate being, whereby you file even separate taxes so that it's a separate entity. And we show you how to build that entity so that the entity qualifies. And they're no longer looking at your credit as an individual. They're no longer looking at your income as an individual. They are now looking at the corporation. Now, what that does is, one, the United States favors small business owners, corporations to be exact. They have all kind of programs and all kind of benefits that are available for corporations, multitudes of programs that are available. The minute you become incorporated, you go in with stockholders equity. All of a sudden you have not just a vested interest, but you have a net worth. You have value. Your corporation does. Okay. So what happens is that in terms of the entity that you're involved in, whatever industry that you're involved in, that adds credence to the profitability of your corporation. So when we show you how to set up the corporation, the purpose that we're setting it up is to show you how to set that corporation to be everything that you're not, so that you are able to use that corporation to purchase big ticket items, i.e. real estate, because I have my realtor's hat on. When you see this hat, I'm in National Land Realty mode. Hello? Your friendly neighborhood real estate agent for decades. Help thousands of people purchase real estate, sell real estate, and get the optimal price for it. Okay? So when we talk about venture capital to purchase real estate, what we showed you last week was a list of venture capital companies. We provide those in this class, but we don't just give you a list. We get you in touch with the loan officer and the loan processor. We then help you put together your package so that your portfolio qualifies based on their guidelines. Now, remember, the companies that we're going to be providing to you are not companies that are so hung up on whether or not you have enough income to purchase the property you're trying to purchase. What they want to know is, what is your exit strategy? Do you have a strategy to pay them off within the limited constrained amount of time, which is normally 12 to 24 months? Now, some venture capitalists will let you use that money up to 60 months, up to 5 years. But you need to have an exit strategy that will afford them to be paid off with the amount of interest that they're charging. Are they predatory lenders? No, we're not talking about an exorbitant amount of real estate. What I'm saying to you is, we take what we've learned over the years, what we've experienced, what we've profited from, what I raised my 4 children on and fed them with. 4. Okay. And we live comfortable. You know me, you know we live comfortable. Okay. So what we learned over the years, was how to take that stock and how to use it to produce revenue, how to leverage yourself with the type of stock that you set your company up. A lot of people incorporate, but they don't understand the difference between preferred and common stock. So they don't know how to leverage even in setting up their company. Okay. And then after they set it up, they don't know what a general ledger is. They don't know how to prepare their financial statement. And when you go to do anything as a corporation, your financial statement is going to be key. We teach you not only the differences between sole proprietorships and partnerships and limited liability companies and S corporations and a C corporation. We teach you the difference. You decide which one is going to be financially beneficial to you. But we also walk you through setting up that corporation. And by the time you get midways in the course, we have now walked you through to the point to where you have recorded it at the courthouse in the records room there, in the specific office that will then report to the Secretary of State's office, or we will help you load it into the Secretary of State's office site so that you can complete the process of being fully incorporated, not just getting your federal ID number, but actually being a corporate entity fully in every way. So that when you walk away from this course, you've got your finances set, you've got your venture capitalists, you've got your non-qualifying lenders, you've got all of your formulas, you know how to work them, you know how to do all of that. And now you're ready to function. And we help you to start functioning before you leave the class so that you've either purchased your first real estate or you've gotten the approval from your venture capitalist company or from your non-qualifying lender so that you're able to purchase property. Okay? Let me pause for a second. Again, we talked to you again about the different types of stock. You want to understand the differences between the two. Not only after you take this course will you know these things, not only will you know how to raise capital when you need to using your stock, you'll understand how many shares you need to issue, what you do with those shares, how you provide them, how you report, do your annual report. You'll know all of that. You'll understand how to manage the structure that you have, how to set it up. All of this in this course that we teach. It's a paid course. The homeownership pre-planning and much, much more is a free course. And it comes with this manual. I'm telling you, when you get this book, it shows you how to help yourself before you purchase the real estate, but it also shows you how to maintain and maximize in every optimal opportunity after you purchase the real estate in various ways. I'm checking for any questions before I go any further. Just showing you guys some of the topics that we teach in the course. And we show you how to do this for various states, whether you're in California, whether you're in Delaware, Florida, Alabama. We show you how to prepare this in general. Let's say, okay, so like in Nevada, we have a company that we formed in Nevada, but we formed it there because in Nevada, they don't want to know the specific officer. So when you file a corporation there, the entity stands in and of itself. They don't have to know the individual owners. Now, that's going to prove to be beneficial to you in the future. And we teach you why in this course, okay? Just putting a bug in your ear. We filed our first corporation in Rhode Island, in the state of Rhode Island. And that's because there were some state benefits that were available for the type of company that we were forming. You do not have to file your corporation in the state in which you reside. You can choose a state that's going to be beneficial to you. You can assign a registering agent in that area for you, and you don't have to hire a company to do that. If you've got a relative that lives in that particular state, that can be the liaison between you and the state. They don't have any vested interest in your company. The only thing that the state needs to know is where do we mail your documentation. And it's even less important now because we're doing things digitally. Then it was important back in the day when we started, because they had to have a place to mail your documentation to. They still want a physical place in the state where you incorporate, where they can use as the registered agent to mail the different stuff. Now, once you have filed your corporate documentation to become a corporation, you can then, that registered agent can then transfer their position to you wherever you are. and you can then become the registered agent. So I just want to make sure that you understand all of that. We teach you all of that in the course, all of the specific. I'm kind of moving really fast because we're about to end. So I'm just sort of giving you a general idea of everything right now. But there are a lot of specifics in the class that we teach. Let me make sure I'm not seeing any questions in any area. If I'm missing a question, y'all let me know now because we show you how to hire, how to do everything that you need to do in terms of a corporation. It's easy. And that's why we call it easy corporate comprehensive curriculum for new business owners. Because it's very simple. We take all the mystery out, we take all the difficulties out. Want to be respectful of everybody's time. And so I'm not quite sure of the things that you guys may be looking for. And that's why I want to make sure that I'm covering everything that you could possibly need. All right, now I'm going to switch it off of here because I want to show you one more thing before I close out. Again, this course is free. We meet every Sunday at 4:30. And if for some reason we're not going to be able to meet, I'll send out a publication online. But so far we've been meeting, been doing this for several weeks. And again, if you want to avail yourself to the course that we teach here, this is a paid course. Homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more is a free course. But when you finish this course, matter of fact, after you have the first class, you'll understand why it's not free. Because the information that you get is invaluable and you start immediately. As soon as you're enrolled in the class and you have your very first one, the other benefit to this course is that you don't have to pay for anything that you don't need. So we send you, as soon as you register for the course, we send you the link for the payment, and attached to the link for the payment for the first class is a syllabus. So in that syllabus, you have the schedule. You know exactly when different courses are going to be taught. If you don't feel that you can benefit from the course that's going to be taught the very next week, you don't have to take that course. You're paying for each session per week. You're not prepaying for anything. If you're going to take the first course, which is in chapter 1, which is telling you the difference between a corporation and all of the various types of entities, if that's the course that you want to take, that's the course you pay for. You pay for it just before class time so that you've not lost anything. If you decide that you don't want to take the course that's being offered in the next chapter, you're not interested in that. You looked at the syllabus, you know what's going to be taught, and that doesn't benefit you at all. You don't want to take that course. You want to take understanding the difference between forming an LLC and a C corporation. Or you don't want to understand about the financial statements and the preparation of that kind of thing. You don't have to take that course for that week. You're only enrolling in and registering for the course that you want per week. Just want to let you know. That's how you can benefit from this course. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this and really quickly share this with you before we close out. Still looking in the chat, wanting to honor any questions that you guys may have. So if you know me, and you know that we've been doing this for a very long time, and we've been in the same companies for years. And I say companies because we have a few, but we've been operating those companies for years. You know that we have some companies that we sold vested interest to others. Some of them we sold completely to raise revenue. And you also know that we're always selling shares whenever we have times that we need to raise capital. Okay. All of these things we teach you how to do. All right, so just wanted to show you some of the venture capitalist firms that we have. So on this list, all you see are the companies and the areas that they cover. That's it. In the course, we provide you with the companies, the loan officer's name, the loan processor. Then we do a conference call once we put your portfolio together so that they understand what it is that you need. We walk you through the entire process, including the follow up and everything that's going to be needed until you get to the point that you have your approval and you understand the amount that they're willing to loan you to purchase your first property. I'm going to tell you a company that I love, and that company is called Wildcat Lending. I love this company. Um, we had an opportunity to close on a deal that they funded for one of our clients. It was a wonderful experience from beginning to end. They don't require very much financial qualifying. What they're looking at is your exit strategy. And I know I've said, if you've been watching this from the beginning, then I probably said this multiple times, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's very important. They want to know what your exit strategy is. What is it that you're going to do to pay us off? That's what they're looking at. And they want to see what type of investment strategy you have. So, for instance, you purchase a piece of property, and that property is going to need some work on. That's why I favor land, because you can purchase land today. It may just be land that has been in a family for years. And then you just repurpose that land to market it as agricultural property. And all of a sudden, it's possible for you to make a profit. But you didn't have to do anything to improve the land. Mm-hmm. When you purchase a home, there may possibly be some things that you need to improve in the home to make it more profitable. Either way, what this company wants to know, and most of the venture capital companies that I've listed here that we've worked with, they want to know how you plan to financially benefit. Well, in that course that we teach you, we show you how to put that on paper. We show you how to put it on paper, how to forecast. So when you're turning in your documentation to them, they're going to want your financial statements, which we teach you how to do. We teach you every component so you understand how to do it. So when you pass it out to your bookkeeper and say, we need you to prepare a financial statement for it, you pretty much already know how to do it. You've given them a shell, and they're going to use that to perform an audit if that's what's going to be required. But anyway, you hand off your financial statements to the venture capital, which we teach you how to prepare. And you also hand off the forecast, the projected forecast of how you're going to produce the revenue with the property. They just want to know that you have an exit strategy, that you have a way to produce revenue with this property. You're not just buying it as investment purposes, and then you don't understand how you're going to produce investment. You may want to buy some land just so you can lease it out to energy companies. We show you how to put that together in your forecast. All of this is easy. I can tell you that after a couple of weeks, you start to see the light. You start to see various ways that you can benefit, that you can increase, that you can profit. And it starts to blow your mind because now you're looking at the potential of what's available. This particular company will approve you to purchase residential property up to 1 to 4 units. Okay. So somebody who's never owned real estate before might decide, hey, I'm going to buy a 4 unit single family residence. I'm going to occupy one of the units, and then I'm going to lease out the other units. You might decide to turn those units into Airbnb. Let me tell you, that's some constant revenue that's coming in, depending on where you're located. Okay, so you're living in one of the units. They're paying for you to live there because they're leasing the property from you, whether it's Airbnb or whether it's on a long-term lease. Are y'all hearing what I want you to understand? The possibilities that are there, the opportunities that are there, and how easy it is. Yes, there are pitfalls. We teach them to you in the course so you can anticipate the pitfalls. How do I know? Because I've been through some pitfalls. And if you know me, then you know the pitfalls that I've gone through. So you might see me fall yesterday, and all of a sudden tomorrow you see me on my feet again. Why? Because after a while, you know how to bounce back. That's what we teach you. We teach you how to build it. If you run into a problem, we show you how to bounce back. Yeah. It's not all just gumdrops and lollipops. We show you the pitfalls. We also show you how to overcome the pitfalls and how to gain your foot. So homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more is a course that teaches you how to pre-plan to purchase real estate and then how to maintain it, how to grow, how to pay it off sooner, how to get into investing in real estate. That's this course. That's the free course that we're in right now. Easy Corporate Comprehensive Curriculum for New Business Owners is the meat of it. We show you how to form another entity to be everything that you're not to purchase real estate. Is it free? It's not, but it's worth what you get, and you only pay for those courses in the syllabus that you see will most benefit you. So I'm hoping that all of this information has been beneficial to you. I'm going to get ready to close out now because I'm not seeing any additional questions in the chat. Let me check also to see if I'm seeing anything in the comments on social media. All right, get out of here. Last thing I want is for someone to say, I had a question. She didn't even acknowledge. Don't want that to happen. Rachel, I see you in the comments on social media. You see anything there that I need to answer before I close out? All right. Thanks, Rachel. She didn't see anything. All right. I just want to tell everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank Beverly Wright for being in the Zoom. I want to thank Rachel Jones for being in the Zoom. I want to thank, I think that's Hung June for being in the Zoom. I want to thank Cynthia Weatherspoon for being in the Zoom. I'm very grateful to you guys for attending this. Oh, I want to thank Michael West for being part of this as well. Really appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. Sundays, 4:30. That's when we meet for homeownership, pre-planning, and much, much more. If you're interested again in this course, just reach out to me and let me know. If you're in the chat and you already saw the links for the time that those classes are available. I didn't see anybody comment in the Facebook or the YouTube that would have wanted that link, so that's why I didn't put those in. All right, guys. I'm gonna remind you, like I do every week. Now, right now, today, this very moment, is the best time to purchase or sell your real estate. Me, your trusty real estate agent for decades. I'm Jacqueline Bath, National Land Realty. Call me